Hey everybody and welcome back. Did you guys actually think that I was going to retract anything that I said in the last video? I mean, you guys should know me better than that. So I've got somebody from the video is threatening to sue me. And it is the worst lawsuit threat probably in the history of YouTube. But anyway, let's get into it. And there is no chance of me taking back anything that I said in the last video. So let's do it. Hey everybody and welcome back to our channel. As I suspected, I knew I was going to get some flack over my last video. Some of it caught me off guard, honestly, but I did expect to get some flack. Now this situation here, or this one threw me out of left field. So I'm going to say this dude, and dude, take my word for this, I'm doing you a favor by not mentioning your name, because the last thing you want is debunkers looking you up. Trust me on that, and your church. So this guy here is threatening to sue me. You know, he doesn't necessarily, actually he said that he hasn't threatened to sue me, even though he has threatened several times. I captured a couple of them before he deleted them, but apparently his church bosses are the ones that want to sue me. They feel that a lawyer needs to be involved. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go over his part of the video. It was probably 45 seconds, maybe a minute at the most. And I really had no idea that this guy was going to say that I defamed his character. Like, legally say that. So let's get into it. Here's the video clip, and then we'll start discussing it. But then there was another guy. He's sitting there. He's got this robe on, in this hat, in this flag in the back, and it was all Catholic symbology and things like that, but I didn't know that. I thought he was like a or something like that. So then you got this guy sitting in on this meeting too. There was a couple new people in there. So this meeting, they just, in front of new people, they just got on and started bitching about Chris and the foundation and kind of making fun of him. And I'm like, what is going on here? Then they started talking a little bit about cases. And it was mentioned to the guy with the Catholic stuff on. And it's this guy right here. And we'll talk about him more because that's a whole nother story. He's like, no, I can't take that case because I'm not allowed in the state of Georgia. Like, okay. So Dana and I looked it up afterwards and we found out why he wasn't allowed in Georgia. I don't know. Actually, I don't know why Georgia, but we did find that he was charged with, some drug charges and other things in the state of, I think, South Carolina. I could be wrong about the state, but there's definitely articles about it. But anyway, that guy was supposedly an exorcist trained by Father Amorth, which is the real life exorcist that the Pope's exorcist was based on. So that guy was an archbishop trained by Father Amorth. Yeah, it's all bullshit. But that's a completely different story for a different day.
That's my opinion! Don't you get it?
That meeting was a shit show to me, and I wasn't impressed. I'm like, what am I even doing here? Okay, so that was the full clip in dispute in its entirety. I was wrong. It's about a minute and 15 seconds. So it was about 75 seconds. Let's go ahead and break this down into three parts because there's pretty much three accusations made. Or I'm sorry, there's 3 points that I made. I'm not even going to say accusations because Lord knows I might get sued. But there's 3 points that I made about this guy, and we're going to break down each point. Let's refer to you as dude from here on out. So dude, you can show this to your lawyer, and I will, attempt to help him out as best I can. But then there was another guy. He's sitting there. He's got this robe on, in this hat, in this flag in the back, and it was all Catholic symbology and things like that, but I didn't know that. I thought he was like a or something like that. So then you got this guy sitting in on this meeting too. So in this first part, he's telling me that I am calling him. Clearly, that is not what is said. I never said. I said the symbology in the background was Catholic symbology, but my initial thought was it was. I was wrong. I was more goofing on myself because I thought it was. stuff, and it was Catholic stuff. So that is not defamation. I think you need to look up the definition of defamation and get your shit straight before you go saying that you're going to sue people. And you did say that you have not threatened a lawsuit. That's absolute bullshit. We'll get into that in a little bit. You dirty deleted the references to you saying that you were going to sue me, but we happened to capture a couple of them before you deleted them. So good try. The thing is too, these people think that us debunkers, we sit in our, mom's basement and we have nothing to do all day but steal people's shit and just, cause drama and toxicity. We're actually a group of very, very intelligent people. So you don't have a shot at pulling one over on us. So, okay, let's get into the next part. He's like, no, I can't take that case because I'm not allowed in the state of Georgia. Like, okay. So Dana and I looked it up afterwards and we found out why he wasn't allowed in Georgia. I don't know. Actually, I don't know why Georgia, but we did find that he was charged with, some drug charges and other things in the state of, I think, South Carolina. I could be wrong about the state, but there's definitely articles about it. And I'm going to cut you off before you even say this. I am not accusing you of being a drug dealer. I said you were charged with drug charges. Here's the article that I was referring to. Deputies seized nearly a kilo of meth during a traffic stop. That's a lot of shit. Deputies in Northeast Georgia arrested a South Carolina man they say was hauling heroin and meth on the interstate. Franklin County deputies made a traffic stop on Interstate 85 Sunday, May 3rd. During the stop, they discovered around 1 kilo of meth, several grams of heroin, and a gun inside of the vehicle, according to officials. The drugs have an estimated value of $12,000. Just another point of contention. This article is May 4th, 2020. You can see it here. And he told me in private messages that there has been nothing recent. Everything has been 7 years ago. Authorities arrested 35-year-old redacted name of Myrtle Beach. And trust me, it is him. I promise you, if there's a dispute from him as to that's not me, I will show his name. They charged him with trafficking meth, possession with intent to distribute meth and heroin, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. The investigation is still active, according to the Appalachian Regional Drug Enforcement Office. I was referencing this article when I said what I said about the drug charges. And here it is. In its entirety, this is what I was referring to. So there is no shot at defamation there because I did not call you a drug dealer. I said that you were brought up on drug charges, and you absolutely were. Here's the proof. So in the private messages, you attempt to blame somebody else for the drug stuff. And you said that all these drug charges were dropped. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. As my British friends say, I can't be bothered to look it up because it doesn't matter. But you said somebody else was at fault. Why does this article not reference anybody else but you being arrested? I would say that if two people were involved, the other person would be arrested as well. So, nice try. I've caught you in several lies already in your back and forth messages with me, and that is my opinion. And this is what makes the third point so important. But anyway, that guy was supposedly an exorcist trained by Father Amorth, which is the real life exorcist that the Pope's exorcist was based on. So that guy was an archbishop trained by Father Amorth. Yeah, it's all bullshit. But that's a completely different story for a different day.
That's my opinion! Don't you get it?
When I talk about you being trained by Father Amorth, it is my opinion, and I clearly stated it in the video. I did it in a funny way with a meme, but everybody gets the point that that is my opinion, that there is no chance in hell you were trained by Father Amorth. Absolutely none.
It's my opinion! Don't you get it?
So now let's get into one of the non-threats of lawsuits that you claim that you have not threatened me with, but yet here's clear proof that you did, but you deleted it because, you know, people like to dirty delete when they know they screwed up. So here it is. But it says, you know nothing about me, and before you go around putting stuff about me that isn't true, why don't you actually reach out and actually ask me, because I quit the foundation as well. Actually, I think you were let go. That's my opinion. That's my recollection. I'm not saying you were let go, but from my recollection of it, you didn't quit. You were asked to leave. That's my opinion. And I'm going to say that 45 fucking times. And yes, I had a past at one point in my life. Since then, every charge I had was dropped. There again, you say it was dropped, I'm going to take your word for it. If it was dropped, it was dropped. I never said you were accused. I said you were charged. And you were charged. I've been through seminary and am with the United Free Catholic Church of Christ, which I don't even recognize that church, but whatever. And because I'm bald, you're going to call me a... No. At no point in my thinking did this have to do with the fact that you choose to shave your head or can't grow hair or whatever. Like, that had nothing to do with anything. It was me being stupid and thinking your flags in the background and your symbology was... It had nothing to do with your baldness. God damn. My family left Italy and was persecuted by the Nazis, so that's pretty messed up. Well, I have apostolic succession through the United Free Catholic Church of Christ, and this is where these guys, in my opinion, like to then send you a book on how they're actually recognized by the Vatican and legit Catholics and whatever. But you guys are not recognized by the Vatican as, you know, an official part of the Roman Catholic Church. At least, let me correct this before you fucking sue me for this. At least your former organization, the Solomonic Order of St. Michael the Archangel, they are not recognized by the Vatican as a part of the Vatican Church. That is a fact. Let's see, where were we at? Christ. So if you wish to continue to do defamation, I will sue you. That is a clear threat that you are going to sue me. And you followed it up in messages that you deleted. You know, I don't even think we need to get into the screenshots. I think my audience is going to take my word for it. I mean, if people need proof that he deleted them, I don't know, maybe we'll throw it in here now. Or at some point in the video, we'll go back and go through the private messages. Because now I'm pissed off, dude. And again, you're lucky I'm calling you dude. I will sue you. You have never reached out to me to ask me anything about my background. I don't always do that. Like, why do I need to? So why don't you actually do your research and find out about someone before you start attacking them? I'm going to tell you again. I will say this for a second time. I have access to top-notch researchers, and you do not want them looking into you, because in the small amount of time that I've done researching and looking into you, you don't want people looking into you, and you know that. And then you guys can see my response. Have fun with the lawsuit. I clearly said I was wrong. So, you know, I basically said in my reply what I've said here. So that's the three parts of, I guess, my argument with this guy. And there is absolutely, maybe I'm wrong. If we have any lawyers watching this, does any of this even flirt with defamation? Like, honest to God, we left it at, you know, he's going to sue me. I'm not going to talk to him anymore, because if he's got lawyers involved, I'm not going to communicate with him and give them ammo, potentially. So, no, we're not going to chat anymore, dude, because, you know, he wants to talk to me. It's not going to happen. But if there's any lawyers viewing this, let me know in the comments. Does anything here even flirt with defamation? Because if I actually do get sued by this guy, I'm so confident in my position that I would win hands down. I don't even think I'm going to get a lawyer. Like, I don't need one. Any judge would watch that video, and that would be the evidence, and say, get the fuck out of my courtroom. I would bet my last 4 paychecks on it. So guys, before we go, I wanted to make one more point. Chris reached out to me. He's the founder of the foundation, and as expected, he wasn't happy, and that's fine. I didn't expect him to be, but he said he only watched 30 seconds and he wasn't going to watch the rest. Just a piece of advice, like, just because you don't like one little thing or something like that, and you only watch 30 seconds, so honestly, I don't even know what part you didn't like, but you really need to start looking into the arguments people make when they're critical of the Warrens, and, you know, people point out mistakes that have been made in the foundation. If you ever want to succeed with that, in my opinion, you really need to look at some of the arguments against the whole thing, because you may not like to hear it, but you can always learn something from it. I learn a lot from criticism, trust me. So that's all we got for today, guys. I didn't want to make this a big thing, but this guy wanted a retraction, and that's as close as you're going to get, because there is no portion of that part of the video that will ever be retracted unless a court tells me I have to take it down, because I didn't say anything that flirted with defamation. The part that was my opinion, I stated as my opinion. The other part I read from an article. So there you have it. We'll see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching.